Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into a topic that is, it's so constant. It's almost invisible. The weather, we all glance at it on our phones, we make small talk about it. But when you really look at the source material we have today, it's it's like this hidden operating system for our entire lives.
It really is. You'd think it's too simple for a deep dive, but the discussions we analyzed are so much more than just forecasts. They're almost like blueprints for how we live day to day.
Mhm.
They show just how foundational the weather truly is.
Absolutely foundational. Yeah. The source material is just this fascinating look at how the choices you make, even just this morning, from that feeling of whether you wanted to get out of bed to the coat you grabbed on the way out, it all goes back to things like air pressure and humidity.
And that's our mission today, right? To go beyond the obvious. Sun is nice, rain is bad.
Yeah.
We're here to really unpack the why behind it all. Why a little breeze can actually improve your mood, or why buildings look a certain way because of storm patterns. I think you're going to have some real aha moments about your own habits.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start right there with the most immediate impact, how weather hits us emotionally. The sources kept mentioning a very specific ideal condition. Sunny, but cool, with a light breeze. Why that exact combination? What makes it so perfect?
Well, what's fascinating is that its perfection is actually rooted in something very practical. Your body is spending the least amount of energy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The sources link it to our optimal thermal comfort zone. The sun gives you that light exposure, which boosts your mood and makes you feel alert. But the cool air and the breeze mean your body isn't working overtime to cool you down or warm you up. It's just physiological efficiency. And that translates directly into feeling happy and wanting to, go for a walk.
That makes so much sense, that sweet spot. But what about the opposite, the negative side? Rainy days. The data says we feel quiet, sleepy, we all reach for a cup of tea, but what's the actual mechanism for that? Like sudden slowdown.
That's what they call the affective link. And really, it's just the direct psychological connection between something outside, like dim light and rain, and how you feel inside. When it rains, you often get low barometric pressure.
Right.
And that can physically affect people, little headaches, sinus pressure. You combine that with the lack of stimulating sunlight, and it's basically a signal for your body to conserve energy.
Yeah.
That sleepiness isn't laziness, it's a measurable atmospheric effect.
So the motivation and positivity we feel when it's sunny isn't just us preferring sunshine. It's a real psychological shift, and it's dictated by light and pressure.
Precisely. And because the stakes are so high for our mood and energy, that's why checking the weather every morning is such a necessity. It's the first thing we do to plan the day, figure out what to wear, or if we need an umbrella. It's about optimizing our day before it's even started.
And that optimization starts immediately with what we put on, which brings us right to the practical logistics of it all. Clothing is the most critical, most immediate choice we make.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's more than just comfort. When it's cold, we grab sweaters, scarves, jackets. We want to be cozy. But an interesting point the sources made is that this is also a psychological boundary. We're not just dressing to be warm, we're dressing to feel sort of fortified against the outside world.
Fortified. I like that. And then on the other side, summer is all about light cotton clothes. It's a very simple system, really, just trying to manage our core temperature. But our whole schedule, not just our clothes, has to shift.
And that's all about adaptability. The sources show that when it's super hot, we have an avoidance strategy. We just stay inside. Rainy days become, perfect for reading a book or watching a movie, but only because the outside environment basically forced us to.
That makes sense for a personal time, but did the sources talk about the economic side of that avoidance? I mean, for a business that needs foot traffic or for farmers, does that chaos outside just mean lost money inside?
Oh, absolutely. The data showed that weather-dependent industries literally have to budget for what they call atmospheric disruption days. It's a huge systemic cost. But to switch to a surprising positive, the sources pointed out that windy days are actually great for running outside.
Really? That feels counterintuitive. I think the resistance would make it harder.
You'd think so, but it's about convection. The wind helps your body dissipate heat much faster, so you stay cooler and you don't get tired as quickly. And psychologically, fighting that resistance can make you feel like you're getting a better workout, which boosts your performance.
That is a perfect example of using this knowledge, and it links right into productivity, too. Cloudy days, we feel slow, less light, harder to concentrate, but when the sun's out, work just feels easier.
And then a storm hits, and the impulse is just to stop working entirely. That chaos outside kind of mirrors a breakdown of focus inside. Our ability to work is so deeply tied to the climate around us. We're not separate from it at all.
Right. And we're not just reacting moment to moment, we're also living through the bigger story of the year, the seasons. The sources painted this really emotional picture of how we feel about them.
They did. Spring was often mentioned as the favorite, but the specific detail was the softness of the weather. Not too hot, not too cold. It's that classic season of renewal. The flowers, the green trees, that smell in the air.
That smell is so interesting, it comes up a lot. That fresh smell is often geosmin, right? A chemical from bacteria in the soil when rain hits it after a dry spell. It's literally the smell of life returning.
Exactly. It's a powerful sensory signal. And then you get autumn, which is loved for its pure beauty. The falling leaves, all red, yellow, and orange. And the beauty there is amplified by the quality of the light. The sun is at a lower angle, the air is drier. It makes those colors just pop.
And then comes winter. It brings this powerful sense of quiet and calm. The focus shifts completely inward. Hot tea, warm clothes, quiet nights.
That stillness is key. It's almost like a form of sensory deprivation that lets you reflect. Cold nights are just perfect for warm blankets.
The analysis of summer was maybe the most conflicted. It was often described as the most difficult season. The daytime heat just makes you tired because your body is working constantly to stay cool.
It's constant battle, but that's redeemed by the cooler evenings and, as the sources noted, ice cream. It shows that even the toughest season has these little ways of compensating. But all this provides a really important backdrop for the next dimension, which is much more critical: safety, travel, and health. This is where weather stops being a preference and becomes a real threat.
Yes, this is where it gets serious. The sources shift from talking about inconvenience to talking about actual danger. Heavy storms, strong winds, heat waves. It's not just about being uncomfortable anymore.
And the safety measures become crucial. Staying updated with weather alerts, yes, but also just recognizing when you need to take immediate action.
The sources had that one really vivid anecdote about having to pull a car over during a storm. Visibility just dropped to nothing and it became completely uncontrollable. That wasn't an inconvenience, it was a total loss of control. You had to stop to survive.
And if you scale that up to global travel, weather is the ultimate disruptor. Flights get delayed, sure, but it's more than that. Specific wind patterns determine how planes can even land. Roads get slippery, fog makes driving dangerous because it cuts your reaction time. The atmosphere is in control of our mobility.
And our biology. The sources pointed to the obvious links, like heat causing dehydration or cold weather triggering a cold, but did they find anything deeper?
Beyond the basics, yeah. The data showed a really interesting spike in cardiovascular strain during very rapid and extreme temperature shifts. It's like an atmospheric shock to the system, especially for vulnerable people. It's the speed of the change, not just the temperature itself.
Wow. That just reinforces how important it is to manage your environment, Stay hydrated, stay warm, and be proactive if you see a big shift is coming.
We also see that management in our recreation. Outdoor sports really only happen in ideal weather. Sunny but cool is best. Rainy days push everything indoors. The forecast dictates the game.
So let's zoom out a bit now to the global context and even language. It's fascinating how these patterns literally shape our cultures.
The variation is just staggering. The sources showed how weather makes every place unique. And that forces unique architecture. If a country gets a lot of snow, you see those steep pitched roofs to handle the weight. In a place that's hot all year, you get deep porches and heavy walls for shade and insulation. Our homes are shaped by the sky.
And so is what we eat. Our appetite is so primal, it's tied directly to our body's needs. Hot soup in winter feels amazing because it's literally internal heating. It's helping you maintain your core temperature.
While a cold drink or ice cream in summer isn't just a treat, it's a necessary tool for hydration and cooling yourself down. The climate dictates what our bodies need.
And because every single person on Earth experiences weather, it's created this incredibly rich, colorful language that we use to connect with each other.
Exactly. The sources gave some great English examples that go beyond just describing the rain. You learn phrases like, "It's raining, cats and dogs." It's just a wonderfully memorable way to say, "It's raining really hard."
Or that amazing idiom, "I'm under the weather," for when you're feeling sick. These expressions are so vital when you're learning a language because they're part of everyday conversation. It's how people actually talk.
Which leads to the most practical point of all. Weather is the ultimate conversation starter. It's the perfect, non-controversial icebreaker.
Totally. A simple, friendly question like, "How's the weather today?" or "Do you like this weather?" It's a way to connect with anyone, anywhere in the world, because it's the one thing we all have in common.
So when you put it all together, we started with this simple topic, the atmosphere, and we've traced its influence through everything. from your mood this morning and the clothes you chose, all the way to global travel safety, health risks, and even the design of our buildings. Weather isn't just a topic, it's the environment we all have to manage every single day.
And the knowledge from this deep dive, understanding that effective link, the logistical challenges, the little physical costs, it really helps you plan better. It helps you anticipate what's coming and just understand these universal human responses. You kind of have the playbook now for both the sky above and the conversations down here.
And as we wrap up, there's one last point from the source material to think about. The sky often looks its most beautiful right after a storm. The air is clean, the light is dramatic.
That raises a really interesting final thought for you to take away. If the most extreme weather poses the biggest risks to us, is that same extreme weather also responsible for the most stunning visual beauty? The most intense sunsets, the most dramatic clouds. How does our deep human appreciation for that beauty balance out against our very necessary focus on safety? It's something to think about, that essential, magnificent duality of the atmosphere.